posted a video of how I pay off my 9% interest rate, approximately 16K auto loan. You know, why it was a 9% interest rate, what was going on at that time, and basically, you know, I talked about filing a bankruptcy in 2016 and getting that discharge. And if you go through that bankruptcy process, you know that it's, or if you don't know, now you know, it affects your credit big time. I just wanted to write this video to show what I did, how I was able to sort of improve my score and work on that process so I could ultimately take out a loan for a car, and where I'm at in my current situation, purchase a home in 2018 after going through that bankruptcy process in 2016. I know what I was planning for and hoping for, so far so good. So let me bring this over here. So back, you know, again, if you watch that video, you'll see where I reference the bankruptcy. So here it is. I'm screenshotting from my TransUnion report. You could see that I first tried to do it in March of 2016, and something happened there, but it wasn't something on my end. However, I was able to refile with a different lawyer in June of 2016, and that was ultimately discharged, and it was discharged on this date, October 3rd, 2016. October 3rd, 2016 is when I was able to, you know, start over without those responsibilities. So, you know, when you're going through that bankruptcy process, what they tell you, you know, what you learn as part of the, you know, the education process that you go through, you know, the courses that you're required to do, and so forth, is you learn that you're gonna have to rebuild your credit, and it's gonna take time. It's gonna be a slow process, right? Unfortunately, you can't speed it up. You know, you have to wait a certain period when it comes to certain things. Like it's no way around it, and yeah. So bankruptcy discharged in 2016. So now what? How do I start? You know, and one of the big things that happened there when your bankruptcy discharge is now everything stops reporting, right? Everything on your credit stop reporting after that bankruptcy. Well, if you do the Chapter 7, I guess if you do the Chapter 13, it's different because you're continuing to make payments, and the agreement that you work out, as long as you're in compliance, you'll probably be continue to report as good. So I can't speak on the Chapter 13 because I didn't went through that, but I went through the Chapter 7, and Chapter 7 is where you don't pay back those debts unless you have some assets that they could take and compensate for some of that. And the way that you are able to rebuild your credit is to be able to have something that reports to the credit bureau. Now, you know, you probably wasn't going to be able to get a credit card, an unsecured credit card, around the time. So I researched online, you know, what are people doing to rebuild their credit after bankruptcy. This was probably part of the training material as well. But, you know, one of the cards that came up, let me show it here, is the Discover Secure Credit Card. So the Discover Secure Credit Card is, you know, basically you put down a deposit and they give you a credit card that's equal to that deposit. So if your deposit is $300, they give you a credit card. You use the credit card just like a normal credit card, but obviously be responsible with it. And with that $300 credit card, You're just using it for it to report to the credit bureaus. And the rule of thumb, and you'll learn this if you happen to go through that bankruptcy, which hopefully you don't have to. But you wanted to stay below a certain threshold. I believe the highest limit they give you is like 23%. Stay below that. Other YouTube videos here, they'll recommend keeping that at like 3%, 3 to 10%, or something like that. Keep it very low. Do not cross, don't cross that 23%. But also some will say, you should pay your balance off at the end of the month. And that's what I was doing when I first started this, because, hey, I don't want to owe anything. I don't want it to affect me. I wanted to continue to use it to build. So, I made sure I paid my balance off at the end of the month. However, later I realized that wasn't really a good strategy. It's good to keep a little balance, $5 or, $3 or $15. Just have it report that at the end of the month, and that will help your credit utilization, because it will show that, hey, this person has a $300 or $500 credit limit, but he's only utilizing, this $5 out of it, right? So that looks good compared to your ratio, right? Because you want to have more available credit than you're using. Versus if you report that zero, and especially if you do it zero on a consistent basis, it in a sense, I didn't know this. It seems like you're doing the right thing, right? Paying off your balance every month. However, reporting zero it's factored different from the way that you think it should. So my recommendation there is, definitely keep it very low. If you don't feel comfortable having a balance, that's fine. But if you could keep it very low, pay off as much of that balance as possible, and just keep it, below that 3 to 10%, and that should definitely help. So with saying that, so let's bring these up side by side if I can here. Let's see. All right. So you can see my bankruptcy there, October 3rd, and my Discover, October 31st. So not even a full 30 days, right? I was at it. I applied for the Discover credit card based on everything that I read, that they're, one of the best ones with the secure line of credit, and, approving you because others won't, and because you just went through that bankruptcy. But yeah, they approved me, and they approved me here for a $300 line of credit. So you could see that a $300 line of credit, and basically they tell me how the process works. They talk about a credit increase down there at the bottom, but I wasn't really interested in that credit increase for the secure line of credit, because you could see how it works. You'll have to send them more money, and they increase your line of credit. But ultimately I was able to start with this $300 and just be responsible with my spending, just keeping it to zero or very, very low. And I believe within 6 months, or after that 6 months, don't quote me, but it wasn't a year, surprisingly. I got I got another email that says, congratulations, you now have a unsecure line of credit. And that was great. right? That was like a real credit card, and I continue to use it and be responsible with it, and hopefully and ultimately continue to increase over time. And you could see there I'm showing up until 2019. I'm showing everything. I'm even showing my, the credit line that I had. Like, it just continued to grow. And Discover was I really appreciate their service. So if possible, don't be late on your payment. Something I learned a long time ago. Is it doesn't matter what what's going on with you. Try to make your credit card payments the minimum. I know sometimes you can't make that minimum, but whatever you can do, just try to make that credit card payment, because it will, like, over 30 days, over 60 days, over 90 days, it really affects you when you're looking to, if you're looking to potentially go into home ownership. Let's talk about it. Home ownership is a big one, and they look at these late payments 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and that's a problem. Okay, but yeah, I just wanted to show you how I was able to build. I was able to use a Discover Unsecured Credit Card after bankruptcy to build my credit, and then you can see there I applied 27 days after bankruptcy. After my bankruptcy discharge, so not even that long. And I was approved for that Discover, that $300 secure card. I was then able to, keep my balance very low, either zero, which learning now I don't recommend. If you want to keep it $1, $2, try to fluctuate that number. You just don't want to be constant with that number, because if it's just reporting $1 every month, that may not work as well. But just keep it within that 3 to 10%. So whatever your line of credit is, just calculate what's 3 to 10% of that, and just try to keep it, within that range every month. Try to have it report, and if it's reporting that low balance, that's great. If you if you happen to use more than that 3 to 10%, just make sure you understand your reporting date. That's a very good part that I did not mention. Please understand your reporting date. So there's your due date, and when your credit card holders have to report your transaction. So just reach out to your credit card, confirm what is the reporting date. Again, these are all things that I learned going through that bankruptcy. I didn't none of these were foreign terms to me prior to my bankruptcy. So just learning from my experience. If you're going to get a credit card, and especially if you're rebuilding your credit, understand the reporting date. That should have been something I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Kind of failure there on my point, but hopefully you stuck around to see the end of it. Understand your reporting date. Please understand your reporting date. That's when they report the balance on your account. So let's say you're having a tough time for that month, and you need to use more than the typical 3 to 10% on your credit card. Well, that's fine. Just make sure you pay it off or pay down as much as possible before your reporting date. I would say just give yourself a buffer room. If you know the reporting date is 5 days from now, well, if possible, make sure 10 days from now it's positive, right? You pay it and give it some time to clear, because it's technology, right? Stuff messes up. It may not clear in time by the reporting date. So understand the reporting date. Don't play around with that reporting date, because after that time it's just automatic. Right? It's nothing that they can do. They're gonna report whatever balance is there. You could bitch and complain all you want. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. And if you don't trust yourself, well, stay within that 3 to 10% range on your credit utilization. Don't go above it. 3%, 3 to 10%, or zero, right? Again, I don't recommend zero because I think when I looked it up, they said they view it as you cannot manage your credit. You know, if they just see you paid off every month, I was like, well, isn't that a good sign that you're paying it off every month? But yeah, they want to see some utilization on it. So yeah, keep it very low, 3 to 10%. You know, if you're a person that wants to keep it at zero anyway, 3 to 10% is nothing, right? So yeah, thank you again. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show, is how I was able to build my credit after bankruptcy. Getting these, starting with my Capital One secured credit card, getting that ultimately converted to an unsecured credit card automatically. I didn't have to do anything. And then go into the Capital One unsecured credit card and, you know, continuing to pay those. My student loans was always there. It never goes away, right? And then the next one here, I got the car payment, and again, kept the payment within, you know, within a good range for me, you know, not just going to the dealer and just, hey, here's this $400-500 car a month, and that's just the car payment, not worrying about the full insurance that you have to get on that. And the full insurance, as you know, the factor is your credit report. So if you have a shitty credit report, there you go, you're getting a high price there, and also your driving record, right? And it's not just the driving records for you. If you happen to be married, right, or someone else that's going to be living in the house, your spouse. So I had to go through that. It wasn't just my driving record, but also my wife's driving record, and then my credit report. I don't even know if they ran her credit report, but it could just be my credit report. Or our credit report, right? You see the factor when you're going to get a car, and that's why you want to keep that low as much as possible. But yeah, we were able to do it. And I'm going to make another video here just over 2 years after bankruptcy, like just within the same month. Like everything is just crazy, like back to back. I was able to get approved for a mortgage. So that's the next video that I'm going to make. You know, so just starting this journey after bankruptcy, you know, a lot of things that some people thought were impossible, you know, I was able to do, right? Go through the bankruptcy process, which was going to be difficult. And, you know, we felt it. Rebuild credit, which was difficult, but we did it. Purchase a car. Difficult again, but we did it. Purchase a home. Difficult, but we did it. And we're continuing to grow and learn and keep going. But yeah, thank you for watching.